What initially began its life as a Karate Champ themed cabinet, originally shown to the public at CES in 2019, has now taken a new life as the limited edition BurgerTime cabinet. After some time spent collecting community feedback, the team over at Arcade1Up decided to go back to the drawing board and change up the look and design of the original Karate Champ prototype, in favor of the BurgerTime themed cabinet you see before you today. And it wasn't just different graphics slapped on the machine to make this change, but rather a complete overhaul of the product entirely. For starters, you won't be able to find this cabinet at your local retailers. This cabinet is only being sold exclusively on the Arcade1Up.com website and is limited to 3,075 units, priced at $399 each. This limited edition cabinet comes with all the bells and whistles, featuring a unique cabinet shape with rounded side panels reminiscent of the original BurgerTime arcade machines. Nestled atop the unit is an illuminated marquee with Peter Pepper and Mr. Hot Dog and beautiful red cabinet trim along the sides of the control panel that really make this cabinet pop. This arcade also comes with a separate riser adorned with custom graphics around the sides, continuing with the BurgerTime theme. The control deck is where things really start to distance themselves from the original BurgerTime arcade cabinet. This one has a unique layout designed to allow for ideal gameplay experience from each of the 4 different included games on this machine. Where the original BurgerTime cabinet had a single joystick centered on the control deck, with single action buttons on each side, this one now features 4 joysticks and 4 action buttons respectively. Included games are among some of my favorite titles from Data East. BurgerTime, Karate Champ, Caveman Ninja, and Bad Dudes round out this stellar lineup. For those of you not familiar with some of these games, you might glance at this control deck initially and think this allows for 4 players to get in on the arcade action, but that's simply not the case. The 4 joysticks are specific for use while playing Karate Champ, as each player controls 2 joysticks apiece in order to pull off the player's actions within the game. For the remaining titles on this cabinet, each player will utilize the leftmost stick on each player's side, as well as the action buttons below. The controls and buttons themselves are of the same recent quality we've seen on many other recent releases from Arcade1Up. While not named brand, they do well to offer the player an arcade experience and control. And while examining these joysticks themselves, these are actually the same Sanwa style clones we've seen in other recent releases and have the same square gates on all 4 of the joysticks. The joysticks themselves are actually 8-way and not dedicated 4-way joysticks, and this is certainly a bit of a head scratcher as all 4 of the included titles on this cabinet would have greatly benefited from having dedicated 4-way joysticks over the 8-way sticks that were delivered. Apparently this was an accidental oversight that was caught a little too late in the production run of the BurgerTime cabinet that really caused the issue with the 8-way joysticks being shipped instead of 4-way joysticks. Now, when asked directly on the Retro Buzz, David McIntosh from Arcade1Up says there is an official solution coming to resolve this issue from Arcade1Up very soon.
Proper messaging to go out. We understand that that's an issue. We figured out it was an issue at CES and at Toy Fair, but at that point it had gone through the manufacturing process, so there definitely will be a solution in place in the near future. Thanks for hanging in there, though, and we appreciate your support on the BurgerTime unit. You'll be happy to hear what we have to say in the next couple days.
But until then, there's actually a relatively cheap and easy solution that I've got for you that can actually change those 8-way joysticks into 4-way joysticks. You can purchase these 4-way restrictor gates that replace the stock ones that came on this arcade unit. Then, in a matter of moments, you can swap out the old gates with these new ones that restrict the diagonal movement of the existing stock joysticks, essentially transforming these 8-way joysticks into the 4-way joysticks that would have been ideally included from the very start. The volume slider works well to adjust the single speaker volume in individual increments during gameplay should you need to. A single speaker was utilized here over a dual speaker setup, as none of these games actually truly utilized stereo speakers originally. Players may notice the volume output on this single speaker is actually slightly louder than other recent released Arcade1Up cabinets, such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or the Marvel Superheroes cabinet, both of which came with the new and improved stereo speakers from Arcade1Up. In terms of gameplay display, there are some unique changes that had to be made in order to accommodate the vertically aligned 17-inch screen on this unit. While BurgerTime and Karate Champ were designed for vertical screens, Caveman Ninja and Bad Dudes were originally played on horizontal screens, and while some may choose to foolishly write this cabinet off because of those changes, I found myself still enjoying the gaming experience regardless of these changes made to the game display adjustments, and didn't really find it to be at all distracting from gameplay overall. The actual measurement of the displayable play screen for Bad Dudes and Caveman Ninja is 10 inches across and 12 inches diagonally, and while you could argue that they could have made the screen horizontal in this cabinet and just given the vertical games black bars on the sides, I think it's important that they chose to keep the title game BurgerTime unaltered and true to form in its vertical orientation. As these are truly some of my favorite Data East games ever released on this cabinet, I had a blast playing all 4 games on this unit. BurgerTime is as fun and addicting as it ever was in the original arcades. The challenge of not only advancing through the levels, but chasing your high score leaderboard makes this an awesome experience. And speaking of high scores, yes, your high scores are saved across all 4 of the included games on this cabinet, I'm very happy to say. Karate Champ, of course, is a fantastic experience on this machine as well, thanks to the dedicated double joysticks for each player, something that was truly great thinking by the original game designers, as this unique control interface allows the player to really feel a connected sense of action with the player on the screen as they fight their way through the game in various head-to-head challenges this game throws their way. Caveman Ninja is a vibrant and colorful platformer for 2 players that is filled with quirky enemies, unique level designs, and fascinating power-ups strewn about the game for our prehistoric heroes to find. This game also features some very neat choose-your-own-adventure style elements intertwined, as it allows the player to select different paths throughout their gameplay that ultimately lead to a slightly different gameplay ending depending on the choices made, further bumping up that replay value. One of the pinnacles of 80s machismo was the arcade hit Bad Dudes. In it, you and a friend have the amazing task of fighting through hordes of ninja kidnappers as you race to save President Ronald Reagan from certain doom. Should you prove successful in your heroic journey, you get an amazing invite for a burger with the former president himself, bringing the theme of burgers on this cabinet full circle. And to summarize my final thoughts on here, quite frankly, I think this cabinet's a winner. With the overall cabinet design and shape, I mean specifically that Peter Pepper shape, truly iconic arcade, and I really like that they redesigned it. They kind of scrapped the Karate Champ. Even though I was a big fan of the Karate Champ design, I really think they did the right thing when they put BurgerTime on here, specifically with these Peter Pepper side panels. I mean, it's a truly iconic arcade, and I think it really stands out. The red trim is also a nice feature. The 4 joysticks for that unique Karate Champ action experience, that's great. Light up marquee, no one does it better than Arcade1Up, honestly. They don't have any bracketing, there's no silhouetting of screws or anything like that. It's just a very beautiful, fully lit marquee all the way across. Custom riser on the bottom, everything really just looks phenomenal. The only flaw, as we've already mentioned, was the 8-way joysticks instead of the 4-way joysticks. And since that's easily solved with just swapping out the restrictor gates, that's not really going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, I don't think. But if you are interested in picking up one of these cabinets, remember, they are limited edition and they are only available on the Arcade1Up website. And as of making this video, when I checked today, there was only less than 400 units still out there of the 3,075 that they were making. So if you want one, I suggest getting one now rather than waiting. As a celebration of all things BurgerTime, I'm going to be giving away this little My Arcade BurgerTime cabinet for you. All you have to do is like this video, comment down below what your favorite Arcade1Up release is thus far, and share this video with your friends. That's all I ask. At the end of the month, I'll be giving away this BurgerTime little unit for anybody to enjoy. But anyways, that does it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. It really means a lot.